Today is Tuesday, August 30th. What to know about a water shortage in the Deep South and the aftermath of strong storms in the Midwest. Also, the world is remembering a hero who lost his life trying to stop a gunman opening fire in a grocery store. Plus, a common household product has been sending more kids to the ER, a setback for NASA's highly anticipated moon rocket. And why wait until Labor Day? A lot of big sales are available now. We'll tell you those stories and more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, people who live in Mississippi's capital are now dealing with a water crisis. The state's governor says flooding this week caused issues at a main water treatment facility in the city of Jackson. So now there's no reliable water to drink, and there also isn't enough water to flush toilets or fight fires. And as of this morning, officials can't say when things will get better. So Governor Tate Reeves deployed Mississippi's Emergency Management Agency and National Guard to help get water out to people. This is all happening even though the flooding in Mississippi ended up being a little less severe than expected. But the issue is the water treatment facility was already pretty fragile. Meanwhile, more strong storms are headed to the East Coast today. People there could see lightning strikes, flooding downpours, strong wind gusts, and hail. They're dealing with the same system that swept through the Midwest yesterday. Heavy rain and strong winds spanned from Michigan to Oklahoma. And some parts of the Midwest, like Springfield, Missouri, dealt with flash flooding that left people trapped in their cars. Because of the storms, hundreds of thousands of people are still without power this morning, mostly in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. But things are looking much better for the region today. An employee at a grocery store in Bend, Oregon is being called a hero for attacking a gunman and likely saving lives. Unfortunately, that courageous employee, who was an Army veteran, was killed, along with a customer at that store. Police say the shooter had an assault-style rifle and shot his way into a Safeway grocery store Sunday night. Local police arrived at the store in minutes, but said before they could confront him, the gunman shot himself. When police found the shooter, he was already dead, with an AR-15-style rifle and a shotgun on the ground next to him. A search of his car turned up another shotgun, more ammo, and 3 Molotov cocktails. Detectives are still investigating why he targeted that grocery store and innocent people. We have another update about the documents taken in that FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago earlier this month. Now the Justice Department says a small portion of the documents taken could have information protected by what's known as attorney-client privilege. And that means the information could be private, and officials might not be able to use them in any investigation against the former president. Remember, Trump's lawyers had been asking a U.S. district judge to block the DOJ from looking at the seized documents and appoint an independent party instead, someone known as a special master, to go through them and identify anything the FBI and Justice Department should not have. Well, now the DOJ told the court it already reviewed the docs and began that work before Trump's team brought on this lawsuit. The department apparently used a specialized team of employees to review them who are not already assigned to that case. As you know, all of this stems from the ongoing investigation into highly classified documents Trump had at his Florida home after he left office. Trump, though, has said this whole thing is politically motivated and is meant to keep him from running for president again. For now, we don't know what the judge will do next, but lawyers are expected back in court later this week, so stay tuned. Do you ever get the feeling you're being tracked? Well, because of location data on mobile devices, there might be something to that feeling. In fact, the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, says one data company called Kochava has been selling data from hundreds of millions of phones, and that the data could be used to figure out where people go to church, if they've been to a domestic violence shelter, or if they visited health clinics like abortion providers. So the FTC decided to sue. The lawsuit says Kochava did not add basic privacy protections to its location data, and that a lot of the information is collected without the device owner knowing about it. So the FTC is demanding the company stop selling sensitive data and delete any info it's already collected. But Kochava says the FTC just doesn't understand how its business works, that the company took steps recently to improve privacy, and that it's already in the process of removing data on sensitive locations. You only have a few more days to take advantage of free at-home COVID-19 tests from the government. After this Friday, the program is no longer taking orders since it's run out of money. Still, each American household is entitled to up to 16 of the rapid tests for now. If you haven't gotten all 16 yet, you just have to go to covidtests.gov by the end of the week. To be clear, this is just the program to get tests through the U.S. Postal Service. Also, anyone with private insurance can also still get up to 8 tests a month fully covered, at least until the end of this public health emergency. And the USPS program might start up again if Congress approves more funding. For now, though, it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. More news is still coming up, but first, a quick reminder. You can get ad-free episodes by becoming a Newsworthy Insider at thenewsworthy.com/insider. Okay, now thanks to our sponsor for helping make the Newsworthy possible. Before you book any brunch, you pore over lists and lists of reviews, right? So why not do the same when you're booking a doctor's appointment? With ZocDoc, you can see real, verified patient reviews to help find the right doctor in your network and in your neighborhood. After all, finding the right doctor is just as, if not more, important than finding the right plate of Eggs Benedict. ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun. When you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix an achy back, get that mold checked out, or anything else, ZocDoc has you covered. Go to ZocDoc.com, find the doctor that is right for you, and book an appointment, in person or remotely, that works for your schedule. Go to ZocDoc.com/newsworthy and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. ZocDoc.com/newsworthy. Turns out we will have to wait at least a few more days to see NASA's most powerful rocket head for the moon. Just before it was set to lift off yesterday, NASA called off the launch. There were engine issues that engineers could not troubleshoot in time. This came as a big disappointment since thousands of people were gathered on the Florida coast to watch the big launch. But NASA's administrator says delays are just part of the space biz, and they just can't, quote, light the candle until it's ready to go. When this launch does eventually happen, it'll be the first flight in NASA's Artemis project. Remember, that's a mission to put astronauts back on the moon for the first time since the Apollo program ended 5 decades ago. NASA says the next launch attempt for the Artemis test flight won't happen until Friday at the earliest. Sea levels around the globe are expected to rise by nearly a foot, more than twice as much as scientists first predicted. A new study came out this week about a massive ice sheet that's melting in Greenland. This study is significant since it was put together by scientists who spent 2 decades studying Greenland, and not just computer models. Now, those scientists say the big block of ice will lose about 3.3% of its volume within this century, and the ice melt will go right back into the sea, making global sea levels go up by an average of 10.6 inches. And the study's lead author says if the world doesn't get greenhouse gas emissions under control, that number could end up being even higher. This is all a big deal since scientists say higher sea levels have already been making flooding more common on coastal cities like Miami, Florida, and Charleston, South Carolina. And future storms are expected to do even more damage. Well, here's a warning for parents. So-called button batteries could cause a lot of trouble for you and your kids. A new paper was just published in the Journal of Pediatrics, saying the rate of kids going to the ER for battery-related injuries more than doubled in the last decade. And in 9 out of 10 cases, button batteries are to blame. Those are the small disc-shaped cells found in toys, remote controls, greeting cards, watches, hearing aids, and more. And kids are apparently putting them in their mouths, noses, or ears, especially toddlers. And that's a big problem, since they can burn a hole through a child's esophagus, stomach, ear canal, or nasal passageway. So many doctors just want parents to understand the risks and treat button batteries the same way they do knives in the kitchen, meaning put them away in a place where kids cannot reach them. And if you think your child may still have swallowed a battery or put one in their nose or ear, call the National Battery Ingestion Hotline and start heading to the ER. 2 major companies are teaming up to build a battery plant for electric vehicles in the U.S. Japanese automaker Honda struck a deal with Korean battery giant LG Energy to build a $4.4 billion U.S. factory. The Wall Street Journal cites sources who say it'll likely be in Ohio, where Honda already has an auto plant. Construction is set to start in early 2023 with a goal of mass-producing batteries by the end of 2025. Honda doesn't actually offer an electric car to U.S. consumers yet, but it does have big plans for electric options in the coming years. Other major automakers have also announced plans for North American battery production over the last year. Labor Day is right around the corner, but many Labor Day discounts are already here. Retailers are offering discounts earlier this year because they have extra inventory. The reason for that? Well, retailers ordered more goods to meet surging customer demand last year. Then supply chain issues delayed the products, and when they finally arrived, consumer demand had slowed, in part because of inflation. So now many stores are offering deep discounts to get rid of all the extra stuff. Experts told CNBC the best deals right now will be seasonal. Think summer clothing, outdoor furniture, grills, and school supplies. But what not to buy right now? Experts say you may want to hold off on certain electronics if you can, like a smartphone or TV, because the sales on those items will likely be even better on Black Friday. And that's it for the main news today. So now it's time for Trivia Tuesday, when we ask a different trivia question every week. But first, this podcast is sponsored by Indeed. You almost never hear great business leaders say they did everything on their own. And there's a reason for that. Great businesses have great teams. And to build a great team, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Indeed lets you find great talent faster through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's a powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. I love when a platform makes things easy by providing everything you need in one place. Like Indeed assessments help take the stress out of the interview process. Your candidates get to prove themselves before you even interview them. So start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/newsworthy. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/newsworthy. Indeed.com/newsworthy. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Okay, now back to Trivia Tuesday. Today's trivia question is, in Greek mythology, who was known as the messenger of the gods? You can answer the question and play along with us on Instagram. Just find and follow us at NewsworthyPod. Look for the trivia quiz in our Instagram stories today. As for last week's trivia question, what is the deadliest mammal? The answer is the hippopotamus. National Geographic says every year across Africa, hippos kill about 500 people. That comes as a surprise to a lot of people since hippos are mostly herbivores and rarely bother other animals. But male hippos can apparently get aggressive if they sense danger. Mothers may attack to protect their young. And nearly all hippos become nervous if something or someone comes between them and the water where they live. Then, if they are threatened, it's easy for them to do a lot of damage. Even though they weigh up to 4 tons, hippos can run up to 20 miles an hour. And their jaws clamp down with a force 10 times that of human jaws. So bottom line, don't underestimate a hippo. Well, thank you so much for joining us and listening today. We'll be back with another news roundup tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.